Today, we are diving into a very practical and foundational concept in web development. Building browser-based tools and IDE-like environments using only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This exercise is not about installing heavy frameworks or relying on third-party libraries. Instead, it is about understanding how the browser itself can become a platform for creating interactive, real-world web applications. The code we are looking at demonstrates how to take raw HTML content, break it down into editable pieces, and provide immediate visual feedback to the user in a safe and controlled way. It shows how you can parse content, structure it dynamically, and update an isolated live preview environment without refreshing the entire page. This is exactly the approach professional browser-based IDEs, live editors, and sandbox environments use under the hood. From a technical perspective, the core idea is splitting the raw HTML into individual lines or blocks and representing each block as an editable element. This allows us to manage indentation, hierarchical relationships, and nesting visually, which is critical for readability and debugging in any development tool. By tracking open and closed tags, the system creates a sense of structure that mirrors the document object model, helping learners or developers see the logical layout of their code in a tangible way. Each change in the editable areas triggers a live update in a sandboxed iframe, effectively creating a two-way connection between the code and its rendered output. This separation ensures that experimental or incomplete code will not break the surrounding application, which is a principle used in professional IDEs and online code editors. The interface itself is designed to maximize usability and professional aesthetics while remaining fully functional and lightweight. By implementing a toggleable full-screen preview, learners can simulate a real development workflow where they have both a code view and a live rendered view. This mirrors how real-world web developers test and debug front-end code. They write, they observe, and they refine in an iterative loop. Every single technical choice in this system, editable text areas, dynamic margin and indentation handling, automatic height adjustments, responsive layout, off-canvas rendering, is intentionally chosen to reflect both real user interface patterns and coding best practices. This allows students to not only see how HTML, CSS, and JavaScript work together, but also understand how interactive developer tools themselves are constructed. Furthermore, this project reinforces fundamental JavaScript concepts such as DOM manipulation, event handling, and state management. Each time a student edits a block of code, an event triggers a controlled function that recalculates the entire rendered content. This teaches them about event-driven programming, the importance of performance considerations, and the design patterns that make web applications responsive and robust. They also learn about sandboxing, security boundaries, and safe rendering practices, which are often overlooked in simple tutorials, but are critical in professional environments. The bigger picture is that by mastering this exercise, students are not merely learning to parse HTML or manage text areas. They are gaining insight into the architecture of browser-based tools and IDEs. They begin to see how web technologies can be composed to create real-world applications where users can interact, experiment, and visualize results instantly. This empowers them to think beyond static pages and static examples, preparing them to build their own live coding environments, admin dashboards, documentation tools, or any number of interactive web applications. By working with pure HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, they develop a deeper understanding of the foundational web platform, making them more flexible and capable developers who can adapt to any framework or tool later on. In short, this code exemplifies how you can transform the browser into a development environment. It emphasizes dynamic interaction, structured visualization, real-time feedback, and professional user interface design, all built on the core technologies of the web. Mastering this approach lays the groundwork for understanding more complex web applications, live editors, and even cloud-based coding platforms. It teaches both practical skills and architectural thinking, equipping learners to bridge the gap between theory and real-world web development.